What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a cure for sleepless nights. A cure from sleepless nights. We're going to be reading today from Psalms chapter 3, verses 5 to 8. And then we're going to get into this story. Another one, dealing with another one of an amazing story that happened to a young boy who witnessed a heinous act taking place, and how his mother was able to pull them out of the situation. And I believe that only was from the mercy and the grace of God that helped them out of that situation. So to start it off, let's read Psalms chapter 3, verse 5 to 8, and it reads, I lay down and slept, yet I woke up in safety, for the Lord was watching over me. I am not afraid of the 10,000 enemies who surround me on every side. Arise, O Lord, rescue me, my God. Slap all my enemies in the face. Shatter their teeth of the wicked. Victory comes from you, O Lord. May you bless your people. That is God's holy word. I start off with this person is a man now, but I am going to refer back to him as a child because that's how I visualized it when he came to me. I had this man come to me. He was seeking answers about his mother's ability to be able to get them out of such a horrible situation, their family. And he wanted to know how his mother was able to get them out of this situation by simply falling asleep. He was about 10 years old, could be a little bit younger, and his father was an alcoholic and a drug addict. And his father, while his mother was sleeping, the father stole the mother's money and went out and brought drugs and did drugs around the corner from the house. The mother awoke and found that her money was missing. She became angry and frustrated and began to lash out. She told her son, her other son, the father, had stole her money and used it for drugs and alcohol. She actually told the brother to actually use a firearm to kill the father. As horrible as that sounds, the older brother actually took the firearm and shot at the father. And the father ran out the door, collapsing in front of a supermarket. Riddled with bullets, he ran and he got medical attention. Getting medical attention, he was transported to the hospital. And the very next day, the police showed up at the residence, arresting his mother and his brother for the shooting of the father. The police came with a search warrant. They had a search warrant and an arrest warrant for the mother, the brother. They had a search warrant to search the residence, in which they did, and they led them away. The mother was placed in jail, and the son was placed in juvenile detention as they wait for their hearing with the courts. Shortly thereafter, the father came to pick up the other young children, but this boy, this man that I spoke to, was hesitant about going with the father. And the father said to him, "You're either coming with me or you're staying here." So the young boy decided to stay at the residence, and the father left him there. This little boy stayed in that house for about a month by himself with no supervision. And the conditions were so bad where the neighbor upstairs actually had to have her older son come down and spend the night with the young boy for him not to be left alone. This young boy stood in the house and waited and was saying to himself that I'm going to wait for my mother. My mother is going to come home and I'm going to stay in this house as long as it takes, so that when my mother comes in the door, she's not going to come home to an empty house, but she's going to see at least one of her children with her. So this kid stayed in the house, and his other siblings dropped him off food so that he will be able to eat as long as he stayed there waiting for the mother. And one day he can hear his mother yelling for him outside the window. So he runs to the window, he gets to the window, and he sees that it's his mother. And his mother is bailed out of jail, and she comes upstairs and she hugs him, and he cries. And he says, "I've been waiting for you. I knew that you will come home." Well, this boy said to his mother, he says, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do to get out of this situation? What's going to happen?" And the mother, this kid was able to realize that his mother said, "I'm going to go to sleep. And when I wake up from my sleep, I'm going to have the answers and I'm going to know what to do. But you just got to let me sleep." And the boy found that strange but he trusted his mother that she will make everything all right. So the mother got up from her sleep and she started to go about to deal with these criminal charges against her and her son. And as the court case and the court battles was going on, the court had determined that because the police never located the firearm, they never located the bullets or the shellings or any of that nature. They never located anything. That his father actually showed up to court to testify under the intoxicated as well as under the influence of crack cocaine. The court system had to drop all charges against his mother and his brother. And when the mother came home and explained the situation to him, and he can overhear her speaking to her friends about it, the boy could only but to wonder, how did this happen? How did this take place? What made her be so sure that if she went to sleep, that she would know exactly what to do? I asked the man when he was a boy, was his mother a religious person? And he said that she did keep a Bible. She never really went to church, but she did keep a Bible. And she's always had a Bible in the house. And I remember speaking to him and I said, this situation reminds me of a scripture that I want to share with you. And me wanting to share this story with you, I want to show you a scripture that I prescribed to this boy or this man to be able to look at and to read and to be able to get clarity of what God did for this mother and her son. It's going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 to 8. And let's go right over there now. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 to 11. And it reads, "Meanwhile, the boy Samuel served the Lord by assisting Eli. Now in those days, messages from the Lord were very rare, and visions were quite uncommon. One night, Eli, who was almost blind by now, had gone to bed. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle near the ark of God. Suddenly the Lord called out, 'Samuel.' 'Yes,' Samuel replied. 'What is it?' He got up and ran to Eli. 'Here I am. Did you call me?' 'I didn't call you,' Eli replied. 'Go back to bed.' So he did. Then the Lord called out again, 'Samuel.' Again, Samuel got up and went to Eli. 'Here I am. Did you call me?' 'I didn't call you, my son,' Eli said. 'Go back to bed.' Samuel did not know the Lord because he had never had a message from the Lord before. So the Lord called a third time, and once more Samuel got up and went to Eli. 'Here I am. Did you call me?' Then Eli realized it was the Lord who was calling the boy. So he said to Samuel, 'Go and lie down again. And if someone calls you again, say, "Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening." So Samuel went back to bed. And the Lord came and called as before, 'Samuel, Samuel.' And Samuel replied, 'Speak, your servant is listening.' Then the Lord said to Samuel, 'I am about to do a shocking thing in Israel.'" This is God's holy word. I wholeheartedly, sincerely believe that God helped and showed mercy and compassion to this mother. And she was operating in her gift where she knew that if she laid down, that the Lord will speak to her and will reveal things to her and guide her along this path. She was 100% sure because the first thing she thought about was not to eat, not to drink, not to go out, not to hire a lawyer, not to seek advice, and not to call friends. But she knew enough to lay down and go to sleep in the presence of God, to be able to go through such a horrible situation, the undetermined uncertainty for her family and her destiny and her child's destiny that is in jail. Who can sleep? Who can sleep in such a critical time? Well, the mother knew that she can sleep in a time like as this, because she was trusting and she found peace within the Lord. It is very hard to sleep in critical and crisis situations. But when you're able to find that peace, when you are able to obtain that peace, when God gives you that peace, you will rest in his security, his protection, his comfort, his love, his mercy, and his grace. So always know that you can always rest in the presence of the Lord, even in a time of crisis. And you'll be surprised what he may say to you and how he may guide you through a most critical time in your life. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you let me know what you think about it in the comments. God bless you and God bless your family. Thank you.